Draft your LCS team and earn money. Alpha Draft.
Azir there 3 bans, and Rek'Sai Nunu with 1 more to go for World Elite.
And no adaptation bans whatsoever from that first series, so we could see a very similar flavor of fix. I'd be surprised to see the Veigar again. They've pulled it out twice, 2 more times than I expected, but I'd be surprised to see it again, and the LeBlanc's the last ban.
Yeah, LeBlanc being the last ban is interesting because that does leave open Kassadin, Janna, Jarvan is also open, but Kassadin for Koro again, can't really blame him after that performance.
And look, most teams, they'll snap up Kassadin at the first chance. Of course, World Elite, they had that Jarvan, didn't work out for them that game, and Kassadin was the instant reply, and it's the first pick here.
Yeah, so a very strong first pick here coming through for EDG. World Elite gonna go for Nara, it seems like. So Aluka does have some experience on this champion, isn't quite at the same level as, say, Koro, who looked fantastic here, but a very strong pick. And I do like something a bit tankier here instead of the Rumble that Aluka's been playing a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, look, he didn't play poorly. Obviously, he got a huge snowball early game, but again, the game was kind of played around him, unfortunately. You know, all the rotations and stuff, there was nothing Rumble could do. The early Negatron buy didn't pay off for him. I understood the theory and made sure that he would always convincingly win trades against the Kassadin, but just didn't pay off.
Yeah, and the Narvan combo actually completed for World Elite, so those are 2 very good picks for them to start off the draft with both Nara and Jarvan coming through. Now EDG have some choices here. Clearly playing Lee Sin last game as he does get hovered here. That was interesting to me. Clearly is not known as a Lee Sin player.
But it was wonderful to see the trio. It was Corki, Janna, and Lee Sin moving around the map, taking objectives, so much disengage right there. Although he's not known for his skirmish ganking pressure, just the tools that Lee Sin provides a comp are still very, very strong. So I can understand the pick. Just don't expect the early pressure coming out of Lee Sin.
Yeah, and that's what they go for. If it ain't broke, don't fix it for EDG. They've got Janna and Lee Sin again as their 2nd and 3rd picks, and World Elite going to consider their next 2 now as well. They've already changed a little bit up with the Nar pick. I wonder what else they want to try and change here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to settle on the Kalista right here. Kalista Thresh is a very strong lane, so I can see some laning power coming out there. There's so much big potential coming out of the Thresh Jarvan combo. There's Teamfight CC coming out right here. I mean, they changed to Leona. That's very much the same flavor right here. I guess they're maybe looking for an AoE mid laner coming in last pick right here. The Teamfight Wombo's on, but if they just continue with these rotational picks, let's say we see the same comp coming out from EDG. If they finish it off with the Veigar, with the Corki, it's going to be very difficult for World Elite to force the fights they want to, just because they've gone all in on teamfight control.
Yeah, and I do like Leona Kalista here from World Elite. Again, a bit more of a solid draft this time around. Lots of good front lane, lots of good engage and initiation. They've got plenty of tools to work with here in this comp, and it's just a matter of what's Ninja going to play, with especially with Xerath and Azir both being banned here in EDG. Looking at some pretty curious picks. They might change things up here from the last couple. We'll give them a couple seconds to go for it. And Deft is trying to give Kog'Maw his first LPL Spring win. That is Kog'Maw Lulu as their last 2 picks.
And look, almost kicking and screaming did Crystal take Kog'Maw and get him that first win. It was so close. You have to go back and watch a wonderful game in that Snake series right there. But look, I mean, this is a protect the Kog'Maw comp if there ever was one right here. And then a huge frontline threat in Kassadin. If Kassadin can get big and it gets to late game, huge damage coming out of those 2 carries.
And I wonder what changes here for EDG to want to swap to something like this, because they do this a lot where they'll play their Corki comp, they'll get really far ahead, and then they'll kind of default back to a bit more of a late game carry comp. It's really interesting actually how they play.
I mean, to me, it's all about scouting, Pagechan. It's all about having so many different modes of play that you can never be ready to really counter out their strategy, because they have so many, they play so well. But what an interesting last pick to come here. Ninja, we talk about his love of wave clear champions, bringing back one straight from Season 2 right here.
Yeah, that's Anivia as Ninja's champion there in the last pick overall for World Elite. So we talk about Ninja. I think look at his champion pool a lot and maybe say it's a little too shallow, but he's certainly good on the wave clear champions, like you mentioned. Played the Ezreal last game, loves his Azir and Xerath like a lot of the other LPL mid laners. But Anivia, it's been a while here. Maybe a bit of a pocket pick for Ninja.
Kind of the interesting thing I have, the little worry I have right here is if Lulu's able to push waves fast and rotate, Anivia's big issue has always been if there's any sort of jungle invading, if her jungler ever gets behind, she finds it so hard to react. She's so slow. She has a wonderful bevy of CC, but if she's second to every fight, as is expected when you have Whimsy on your side and very good wave clear herself on Lulu, she finds it difficult. But look, if Pawn can break out Veigar, and maybe a Season 1 pick, if that, bringing back one of the pinnacles of Season 2 in Anivia. It makes sense in the comp. It gives them some instant wave clear.
And World Elite, we definitely credited the early game. It looked very strong in Game 1, but what else has to change here for World Elite? I think they should keep the same aggression, but what should they look for or look to not do maybe in the first 10 minutes of the game?
Their skirmish power worked a treat. They won basically the first 8 minutes of that game. It was only when we saw the over-aggressive dive into the enemy red buff and that death that Spirit kind of needlessly gave away that the snowball really came on, because as he died in the top lane, you could see the aggressive wards coming down to his jungle on the other side, and he was continually punished from that point onwards. So it's completely a case of Spirit cementing his leads rather than kind of giving them away.
All right, we'll have to see what happens. Let's get into Game 2. And welcome back into the Rift for our last game of the evening. Week 4, Day 3 of the LPL is almost in the books. Day 3 has been absolute insanity when it comes to games of League of Legends. But EDG are looking to close things out quickly and in style. They're 1-0 up to go 6 straight games in a row over this weekend and be the one true leaders of the LPL standings.
Yeah, they will finish the league first. It's just the level of advantage they have that's going to be determined this game right here. It could be the massive 5-point buffer over Snake. That's what they're shooting for. That's what they've picked for. And it's up to Anivia and Spirit here to really change things.
Yeah, that's a big lead as well. We'll see what World Elite can do. Spirit's Jarvan has looked strong every time he's played it. He hasn't won all the games. World Elite in general haven't done a lot of winning so far in the LPL, but they've started to get a lot better as a team. Things are coming together more, and I like the change here from World Elite. A very solid draft. A bit of a curveball in Anivia, but Deft is going in. STYs, he's just caught unawares here. We'll get auto attack down a little bit. UJ actually going to get caught a bit now as well. Maker going to pop the shield on. Bit of free gold there from Jana from the Spell Thieves, and bit of a weird invade.
Yeah, very interesting, aggressive invade coming out right here. It's going to be interesting to feel out this matchup between the Kalista and Kog'Maw. Both of them have that late game hyper carry potential right here. Of course, you have to side it with Kog'Maw, as you always do, with the massive range and the percentage health damage right there. But it's going to be a very interesting laning phase between the two.
It has indeed. And EDG did get some early wards down there in the blue side jungle for World Elite, so that invade was not for nothing. Clear's going to start directly on his blue buff actually here on Lee Sin.
There he is, and in the mid lane we get to see the first trades between Kassadin and Anivia. This used to be actually a significant counter matchup for Anivia, just because she would find it hard to deal with all the silences coming out and wouldn't be able to eat the burst damage. But of course, with all the changes to Kassadin's kit and abilities right here, it should be a lot more even, at least in the laning phase.
Yeah, definitely a little worried to give Pawn a champion like Kassadin, though. He's played fantastically all weekend, played Vega to a T in that last game here, and now has Kassadin to go as well.
Yeah, we were expecting the Kassadin top coming in here, but there was that last second top, so worth noting here. That is Koro on the Lulu up top, and Kassadin in the mid lane.
Spirit has a visit mid early again, trying to maybe get some more gank pressure going, but leaves a Lucas lane alone for now. Clearlove again started on his blue, looking to go very quickly to his red. Maybe has a level 3 double buff gank in mind, but the bottom lane matchup is a bit interesting here, because we've seen this today already, and Kalista won pretty handily for Vasily.
Yeah, it was very significantly ahead in CS in lane right there, so it's interesting to see how this matchup pumps out. Both of these are very fancied AD carry players in the Chinese scene right here. Deft, he's played a lot of Kog'Maw, so you'd say he definitely has the experience advantage on his champion right here. But again, we're just starting to learn the potential of Kalista as a competitive pick.
Yeah, Defty getting a bit more trades. Actually very behind in CS, but EDG are trying to deep freeze that wave in towards the bottom side of their lane. So Defty will start to pick up CS more and more. But in general, he has to play very safe to get to his pass blocks. And Koro is going in on a Luca here. Magana's been transformed, but Koro is taking advantage of actually going to bounce in. Koro might just turn around and look for a solo kill there. The Goodlands does get, and first blood goes to Koro.
The max range Goodlands. It was actually Koro that was suffering the first blood in that series against Starhorn Royal Club. He's been struggling in lane a few times recently. Even in the last game, was camped out with reckless abandon, then eventually scaled into the game. But right here, he's got himself a lead all on his own.
And I feel like we see this more often than not from Lulu solo laners in the LPL. What is it about Lulu that's just actually made us in quite a lot of play?
The trade damage there is just so strong. She has the very good wave clear, which is something that's so prioritized, especially in a scene that's in so many Nunu picks, so many double Sightstone jungle support combinations. The ability to push your lane and then get aggressive wards in the enemy jungle is so prioritized. We see continued trades down the bottom lane right here.
Really strong tornado there from Mako. Deft actually going to win this trade here as UJ backs off and takes so much poke for his trouble. So very strong play by the EDG duo once again, and Deft's now leading in CS.
It's really an issue with this Leona right here. Of course, she's very good at those all-in trades right here. But once the living artillery, the Biocan Barrage, is used, as we see, the trade continues.
Another really good tornado, but Def is going to go down. UJ nails it that time, and now Mako going to move in. Koro actually teleporting down. STYZ goes down to the passive of Def. Koro tags STYZ and gets another max range kill. Lance kill.
Koro managed to get so many 1,000 plus range kills already at the 4-minute mark here, but the trade damage and then just the long range potential of those glitter lances, it's so easy to overlook Lulu's kit. She's fallen a bit out of favor, but whenever we see her, she's been super impressive in the LPL.
Yeah, really hasn't. Koro looking great so far. His pawn looking to maybe get dope here. Spirit might fancy himself, but Clearlove's already around. It's actually only level 3, so behind a bit here, but will move Spirit and Ninja out of the lane and give Pawn a bit of space to farm out under his own turret.
And definitely going to need the breathing room in the early levels, pre-Catalyst, pre any sort of mana items right here. Is going to struggle in a range versus melee matchup, but EDG, they're not happy with just relieving pressure. They're going straight for the Dragon.
Really smart early Dragon here from EDG. Know that Water Leader back to put so much pressure on the bottom side of the map. Aluka is still stuck in the top lane, and EDG are basically going to steal themselves the Dragon.
Yeah, Koro had CS so well after that initial solo kill right there. It's only going to fall about maybe 10 CS behind by the time he gets to the turret right here. So although he loses a lot of experience, he'll only be even in levels with Aluka. He's still doing very well for himself.
Yeah, and he has to walk back to lane as well, so very impressive stuff by Koro here. As Spirit is going to rotate in, actually puts a very aggressive pink ward down. Again, I like the aggression from Spirit, but Clearlove down the bottom ganks in and kills STYZ.
It looked like it was going to be a repeat of the engage by Leona right there. Def felt so low, but Clearlove, his good buddy, was coming in with the jungle pressure right there. They do pick up the kill, and out of nowhere, 1,000 gold is the lead. Remember, at this point, World Elite had the 1,500 gold in the previous game right here. So EDG, they've arrested that early game snowball that they suffered in Series 1.
Yeah, and another fantastically orchestrated gank by Clearlove. He is just so good at baiting people, forcing you, turret overing you, whatever it is. He may not gank often, but when he does, his hit rate's very high.
And look, if we had a scale of communication between these joint language Chinese, Korean, Chinese squads, you'd have World Elite at one side, especially in the early weeks when they really struggled to communicate engages. And EDG, they look like they have no language problems whatsoever right here. The language barrier has been really blown through as they do so smart things. The level of baiting, the usage of the summoner spells at the last second, they're definitely a very well-practiced, strong communicating team.
Yeah, just all on the same page, want to do the same thing, and that's win games of League of Legends, and they've been doing a lot of that recently, especially this weekend as they look to go undefeated in games over the entire LPL weekend, playing an extra match here as well.
Yeah, so although there is a chance for OMG to pick up a 3-point 2-0 series and close the distance, they're still going to be at most 2 points behind EDG right here. So they are definitely your consensus top team in the LPL at the end of this week.
Yeah, Def waddling back and forth in the lane. Has got himself, looks like components of both a Sheen and a Fatal. We'll see the early Trinity Force. A good NATO again there by Mako, but could be in trouble there from the Callista. Good damage coming through for UJ, but I like the trade from EDG as well. Def popping that Bioarcane Barrage and just getting a decent amount of damage traded back.
And you get a bit of an example right there with that play from Mako. It's why Janna Sin is very competitive lane matchup against Leona. Usually when it's those engaged supports like Blitzcrank, like Thresh, you think Janna might be a liability because she's squishy, because she can be killed. But because you can channel that Q and cancel Leona's true engage, especially pre-6, you can really be effective in keeping Leona away from your carry right here. So Janna is very strong in this lane matchup.
Yeah, and again, EDG have done a very solid job of freezing that lane whenever they can, just to make sure Def cleans up the necessary CS. Back in the top as well, Koro even on Aluka, despite the big roams in the early dragon, actually looking to maybe bully him again. And the mid lane now as well, actually going quite well for Ninja. So the Anivia working out in the early stages, especially now that the Glacial Storm's been leveled.
Yeah, but continuing that discussion of CS right here, it's in the bottom lane that you see the big discrepancy. 9 CS advantage for Deft in a lane matchup where we saw a massive 30 to 40 CS advantage in the previous series.
Yeah, and Deft just looks so strong. It's amazing he's doing this on Kog'Maw as well. And Spirit's waddling into the enemy jungle, does get a ward down there. So, again, trying to get some vision. But Yude's in trouble now, actually. Deft almost getting himself a kill. Does actually get it with the living artillery. Teleport does come in, but gets cancelled by Aluka. And now a solo kill in the 2v2 lane?
Yeah, solo kill in the 2v2 lane. Super surprising. Deft's going in.
He's going so in and gets another kill. That's 2 clean kills for 0 in the bottom lane. And EDG EDG are really just walking all over World Elite's bottom lane now.
And that wasn't a miscalculation of damage or a quick level 2 ping. That was just a straight outplay by Deft and Mako right there. STYZ falls, and you saw why Aluka had to cancel that teleport. The minion wave consistently crashing into his turret right there. It looked like he would have been lucky to get any sort of impact in the bottom lane. It wouldn't have relieved any pressure, and he would have lost so much pressure.
Good teleport there by Korra as well. Will complete it, doesn't cancel it off, but just moves the gank out from the mid lane, protects his buddy Pawn, and lets Kassadin continue to farm. Blasting one up nice and early for Pawn, so not that defensive, but has good competitive wave clear against the Anivia ult.
And it's a bit of a risk to go straight for the Blasting one just because Anivia does have surprising burst damage, especially with that Ignite. But it's just a case of wanting to be able to counter-push out this middle lane. Looking at skill order here, compared to the Kassadin we saw previous game, has put so many extra points, maxing the Force Pulse straight up right here. That extra Blasting 1 AP helps with the wave clear.
Spirit going so aggressive, just gets love tapped by Pawn and loses half of his health, so has to be careful. They want to try and get this turret down. Ninja does take a tower hit for it and is doing a good job poking with his ultimate plus his E as well. Good dodge by Pawn of the Q though. Pawn will defend for now. STYZ low again here in the bottom lane though. Oh, damn. Living Artillery's landing for Deft as well. STYZ has to get out of this lane one more time.
He does need to get out of this lane again. Such a stark contrast to the Snake matchup we saw earlier right here. And Pawn's taking a lot of damage. He's finally harassed out of lane, finally punished for that Blasting 1 start, but he's going to be able to go back, pick up a Catalyst, work towards right away, but he's in trouble.
Ninja wants to solo kill. Pawn's going to go in the queue. It's not quite enough to keep him alive. And Ninja with the 1v1 out playing mid.
Not the name you'd expect to be calling when you're talking about a solo kill in the mid lane, but wonderful play from Ninja. The surprising burst right there, the 300 burst damage at level 9 does that E.
Mako's in trouble. There as well with the Monsoon. The smite comes through the clear onto Ninja, but that's only going to be the egg. If they get it, they do get it finally, but Korra knocks up Spirit and Ninja there as well. And that Anivia egg is going to get cooked there. Now Spirit trying to run away as well. Not a whole lot of place to go, but he does have his flash. Aluka moves in there, does have his ulti as well, but Spirit's getting chucked out there. Clearlove gets another kill there. Aluka there gets ulted actually, sorry, his Korra will get solo flared up, and now Lulu very low. He's going to go down. Clearlove might pick up a third straight kill, but can't quite get it. Flashes forward, does go in there, and the ease enough there for Mako for the AD. Now UJ going to get chance that he's forced to move as well. Clearlove though, just going in on this Lee Sin. 4-0 so far. Can he make it 5? Trying to chase in, damage in again, and there's Pawn to clean it up.
That's how long that fight was, Patriot. And Pawn managed to respawn, come back, and pick up an exit kill. It feels good when you're a carry on EDG because sometimes they're served just like dinner.
Yeah, that was served up right on a silver platter there. And Deft, in the meanwhile, serving up his favorite dish, which is creeps. 86-60 now in the bottom lane. Pawn is diving STYZ in the bottom lane. The tower goes down and he's dead. Deft gets another kill.
4-1-2, 25 CS advantage. If I cast my mind back, I wasn't casting the game, but I believe it was about a 30-40 CS disadvantage for Crystal in lane in a similar matchup right here. Deft is so on form, so on point. And you'd have to say STYZ, maybe it's this lack of familiarity with the champion. He managed to get a win on it yesterday, but really struggling in this what should be a fairly one-sided matchup.
I mean, everyone's certainly still learning Kalista, the newest champion to the league, but you might be right here. STYZ's had lots of hot and cold performances, and unfortunately for him in World Elite, mainly cold at this point. Deft is actually just pushing down the bottom. EDG got another dragon for themselves, and the last game was snowballed pretty quickly. This one's even quicker now. 5,000 gold ahead, plus 2 dragons already for Edward Gaming.
And look, I think time will tell when it comes to this Kog'Maw versus Kalista matchup, because you know that if Kog'Maw's actually favored in a lane matchup, we're going to be seeing a hell of a lot more Kog'Maw. Of course, the late game cannot be denied for that champion right there. So if it is a conventional pick against Kalista, it should become a very regular pick moving to the future. But all we can say is based on this pressure, I mean, this Kog'Maw, already the Trinity Force at 13 minute. We've talked about grouping with Power Spikes. He's right there in mid. And the mid-game certainly started.
Even with the Kog'Maw, Def knows what to do. Clearlove going to give this blue buff over the Pawn. It seems like he will collect it. That's very close, but he Rift walks in. Clearlove just miscalculating that one, I think, with the help. Now Def going in. Spirit gets chunked to about a third health there. Def will defend his pink wards honorably. And now Ninja actually getting jumped on as well. Ninja's got nothing left. Def gets another kill now at 5-1-2. And EDG just again really rubbing it to World Elite.
Absolutely. They're so quick in their rotation. They have so much mobility between Kassadin and Lulu right here. Both of them have their early items. Rod of Ages finished on Kassadin. 40% CDR already for Korra right here. And Deft is just cleaning up left, right, and center.
I mean, you know, Deft, playing Kog'Maw, definitely a favorite champion of his. Maybe, you know, decided that Pawn got to play too many fun champions. Wanted to play one of his own, and of course, EDG. Wouldn't surprise me at all to learn that they've been playing Kog'Maw in some of their scrims as well. But this game, with a pretty late game-oriented comp, This is just all early and mid-game for EDG. They don't need the late game now.
And we'll return to your point you were discussing about the different flavors of comp that EDG bring out right here. What you can say is if you were doing a scouting report for this team, what would be Pawn's champion? But would it be all of them? Like, you can just play basically everything in the mid lane right here. Deft is happy to mix up his picks, whether it's the standards like Corki, working in the Jinx and Kog'Maw now into that champion pool right here. They play protect comps, they play engage comps, they focus on the mid game, and sometimes they're happy to take it into late. And that's kind of the power of being able to consistently mix up these champion team comps, is that nobody can get that accurate scouting report because everything needs to be on the board.
Yeah, you're right. And we're going to take a quick inventory of EDG's items right now.
They've got all of them.
They do have all of them. We've got Morello Nomicon done here for Corey. Cooldown boots finish shows over the spare amp tome. Clearlove's on the way. He's got his warrior enchant plus his Sidestone and the Merc Shred, so very rich there as well. Rotovator's well and truly done for Pawn, maybe even a minute or two ago, plus a Fiendish Codex on top, Trinity Force and 2 Longswords done now for Deft as well. And Mako's actually almost finished that Crucible yet again. Sorry, the Mikhail's yet again.
And STOIZ, he's the saddest man on the Rift right here. Just the Berserker's Greaves and a pickaxe to show for the first 15 minutes of the game. He is sitting on 1,400 gold. He will be able to add a BF sword before too long right here. Interesting to see him moving away from the Hurricane build right here, because you look down the EDG lineup, no true frontliner right here. So Blade the Ruin King into Hurricane against the Lulu ultimate and all the health that comes out from these members makes a lot of sense to me on paper right here. He doesn't need to tank bust, so he doesn't really need the Infinity Edge coming out from Kalista right here. But whatever item he goes for, it's going to be significantly delayed.
Yeah, Deft is just so far ahead right now. Clearlove going to queue a minion as well, and EDG will look to push their 5th turret of the game here, looking for the tier 2 in top. Koro, by the way, got a need to see large rod in his last back, so looking for maybe a Zhonya's here to get even more aggressive. Spirit's going to go in onto Clearlove. That's a good ult actually, but can't quite get the kill. Not enough damage, and Pawn's going in onto Spirit. Deft even diving under the turret to try and clean out the extra damage, but everybody lives for now. But EDG probably got Spirit low enough to push this last turret.
And they're definitely focusing on the objective right here. This would be their 5th outer turret, only one standing in the bottom lane right here. Anivia has so much wave clear. This is not an easy thing to do whatsoever. But once that mana runs down, there's no blue buff available on Ninja. They have to run that mana down if they want to take this turret.
EDG going to continue pressuring. Pawn's actually moved over to the mid lane now with the very mobile Kassadin, so able to move back and forth between the lanes if he needs to. EDG will rotate once again now. It's pretty hard to crack the inhibitor turret in mid lane, but at least they'll get some pressure going. And good cleansing here as well. Pawn will get the pink ward. The World Elite plays very well defensively.
And the creeps are actually bunching into the bottom outer turret right here, so it makes sense to send at least one member down bottom. Get that minion wave pushing your advantage, because significantly pushing for World Elite right here. Without the minion pressure, out-pushing Anivia is just an exercise in frustration. So they need to go back to their fundamentals. They've had a lot of fun. There's been a lot of kills, almost a kill a minute right here. And Deft's in trouble.
Yeah, he actually gets ulted there as well. The Kalista will also move out. Deft gets knocked up yet again. They're going to dive in, but Clearlove trying to protect him. Anivia doing a lot of damage, and Deft needs to walk out of the ult. He does, as the Lucan now going to move in as well. Almost got the Narbiter full, so Mega now will be off soon. In fact, Koro could be the recipient. Good Glitterland, so doing a lot of damage with the flat AP on this Lulu so far. And Deft low, he will keep back in though.
You see EDG, they're being aggressive with their position, but they're basically bluffing aggression right here, because this is a mid lane Cass, and he doesn't have access to teleport, does Pawn right here. So they don't want to commit to a fight. They're just trying to keep World Elite in very defensive posturing. Allows Cassin to go and pick up some more items. He's actually gone for the Morellonomicon second right here. So going to have a lot of upfront burst damage. But no Zhonya's just yet. I guess he feels confident that with the Lulu ultimate, he shouldn't be falling at the start of a fight.
No, and that's a smart decision from Pawn, as he does retreat out of the mid lane. EDG will actually get control back of their side wave, so that's good news for them. And this is not nearly the same. It's actually slowed down considerably this game, given the pace that we were on earlier. But EDG just, again, waiting for their objectives, wanting to take the next dragon. Ninja is in a whole host of trouble now as Pawn will jump in down the bottom. Ninja had 1v1'd him before. Not sure he can do it again, but the mini-wave's helping him here. Good chunk there coming through, but Pawn's going to turn it around. Deft's now down here as well. Ninja realizes that I don't really have anywhere safe to go. The passive will pop, but Deft gets another kill. It's 6-1 and 2 now.
And kind of the surreal thing right here is that you see the members of World Elite moving to the top, and you instantly think, all right, it could be the counter Baron, but we're only 18 minutes into this game, so Baron hasn't even spawned right here. It's actually going to be the 3rd dragon coming in. A very big objective comes up right here. And World Elite, they might be able to get an answering top turret right here, but it's definitely small gains for just what continues to be massive losses on the World Elite side.
Yeah, I mean, they'll steal away the blue buff, so they'll take it right now. That looks to go over to STYZ, who no Spirit actually going to smite that up wants the golden experience for himself. Makes sense as the jungler. And they're going to rotate in, look to get a bottom turret. Deft actually already takes out the tier 2 in bot, but Lucas Spirit and STYZ will group up for the top side turret. So they'll take their second of the game, but EDG might not stop pushing. They have backed away though, and a good rotation there from World Elite actually.
And World Elite will have plenty of stall right here. They have Anivia, the queen of Season 2. We remembered those 50, 60-minute CLG EU games right here. There's a reason it's very, very hard to outpush an Anivia right here. So when it comes to taking inhibitor turrets, without getting a pick or getting significant advantages in a fight beforehand, it's going to be very difficult to outpush this Anivia.
Yeah, and Ninja is powering up reasonably as well. He's looking like a Morello Nomicon to follow that Rod of Aegis. So going to mirror the build of Pawn here on his Castle, and he's also picked up his Sork shoes, so ready to go for even more damage. Very cost-efficient damage build here from Pawn.
And I don't think I've ever seen a Kog'Maw with a Youmuu's Ghost Blade, but there's a first time for everything.
There is. That's certainly the components that Deft has in his inventory. I guess it's not too bad. I think this signals to me EDG want to play aggressive and try and win through the mid game now as well. Clearlove does actually tag a Luca there with that Q. Will ride it back in and just does so much damage. Kicks him back after the flash. Mako with the tornado as well. And Aluka going to go down to the Lee Sin.
And it's the first go, but Mako's in trouble, has to flash out.
Oh, good flash, but the Xenoblade follows through as well. The Solar Flame moves in, but Deft just dodges it, and now Pawn's going to pick up STYs. He's just diving in the back on this Cassidon, and EDG going to chase down now as well. Ninja in trouble there. Pawn looking for the triple kill now as well, and looks to get it, does do so under the turret. EDG now in the back of the base of World Elite. Quadra kill coming out from Pawn, actually. What more to say about this Cassidon?
And that's the surrender.
This game, we're done. A bit of an anticlimactic ending, but World Elite did not want to play any more of that. It was already going downhill. Quadrico from Cassidon not really helping in that situation.
And that might have been the fastest game so far this split.
I think it must have been. And we're going to have a replay there from that game as well, even though it was a very short one.
So we'll see the replay. It's 10 minutes in, already a 2,000, about 22,500 gold lead right here. So EDG were already in the ascendancy, but we'll roll the tape right here. This is, I believe, the very long, elongated fight right here. So low on mana is Ninja right here. He falls down the first time, but he still has Egg available right here. It's actually, the ultimate comes onto Clearlove. They're going to finish off Ninja right here. But, I mean, there's not much World Elite can do right here. You see Jarvan running away. I mean, Luca comes in and he sees there could be a massive Gnar coming. It's a double Gnar, a very good skill shot coming through. More CC comes in, but there's just no damage available on any of these members of World Elite right here. And Clearlove just does his best. He still has Flash available, clears up another kill. But this was kind of the flavor of the whole game right here. There wasn't really a conclusive team fight to show because it was skirmish after skirmish going into EDG's advantage right here. And still so much damage available. Pawn respawns. The clip didn't, the replay here didn't even catch the start of this fight, which was Pawn falling down, to actually eat out his whole death timer right there. And of course, this is nerfed Cassidon. He couldn't rift quickly back to the lane. He had to walk most of it, but still was available, picked up that kill. And EDG, they just ran all over World Elite.
And you know what? With that game, they actually pick up the dream. 6-0, they've done it, and they are well and truly on top of the standings. So EDG, a fantastic weekend here in the LPL, and what a way to shake things up. Those standings must look crazy.
Yeah, the substantial lead over Snake. Snake's second in the standings is still very surprising for week 4 of the LPL. OMG, they can get a win to cut EDG's lead, but they're going to have to work on their fundamentals. EDG have those down pat.
And with that, we're going to wrap up our last day here of week 4 of the English coverage of the Chinese LPL. On behalf of myself, Papa Smithy, Atlas Spawn, and our entire live production team, it's been a fantastic week of LPL. This day especially has been insane. And you don't want to miss anything else next week. We'll see you then.